Hello and welcome to Geology, a channel dedicated to biology or the study of life. Today's video is a little different, and that's because it is a mix of a recording of a session that I had done on menstrual awareness for young girls going to school who are just entering into this phase of life. And apart from that, I have also added some more additional information which we did not cover that day in the session. Today's video is going to be covering information about what menstruation is, what happens to the body, what changes happen, how do we take care of ourselves during this phase, what kind of nutrition is required, how do we support ourselves and our near ones in this phase emotionally, what can boys do about supporting their family members, their sisters, or their friends and schoolmates who are menstruating, and also a section on what kind of exercises, what kind of diet is required for the young bodies going through this transformation. So stay tuned till the end and enjoy this session today.
If you have seen the newspapers, just 2 days ago was Menstrual Awareness Day, and the Tamil Nadu government has, through their research, they have found that more than 50% of the children in rural India do not have any menstrual awareness or even access to menstrual hygiene products. So I think this session is a small contribution towards making this knowledge available in the right way, in the right context to students, to children, and to parents. And in this session, we will start with 3 promises. First one, this is a very safe session for all of you. Feel free to ask questions. It's a safe place. Talk about things. If you have any doubts or clarifications or hesitations, feel free. Nobody is going to judge you for that. Second, we are going to be respectful towards the person who is asking and also towards all the topics that we are going to talk. And if any of you feel hesitant, you are completely free to send a personal message, direct message on the chat, Zoom chat to any of the speakers. And we promise that we will not disclose your name while asking or answering the question. Okay. And what do you get out of this? What we want you to learn from this session is threefold. One, how your body works during this process, how you take care of yourself, and how can we be kind and respectful for one another, right? So let's look at this small video here.
खोलना सरदा टिफिन खाया था ना, टमाटो सॉस लग गया होगा। हाँ, खून ही है। तू इतना झूठ बोलती है ना, गॉड ने तुझे पनिश किया होगा। तू भी तो झूठ बोलती है, तुझे क्यों नहीं हुआ? पीटी क्लास में तू इतना फास्ट झूठा झूठी थी ना, तो पर वो तो सब लोग करते हैं। तू कह रही थी ना कल रात तूने मच्छी खाई थी, उसका कांटा तक क्या होगा? कांटा गले में तकता है, सुसु में नहीं। मुझे लगता है तुझे कोई बीमारी हो गई है। जब तक तू ठीक ना है ना, तब तक तो स्कूल मत आ। अभी तक बंद नहीं हो रहा है। कभी बंद नहीं होगा तो तू कभी स्कूल नहीं आएगी। मुझे लगता है ये मरने वाली है।
क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? क्लास में क्यों नहीं हो तुम लोग? क्या हुआ श्रद्धा?
थोड़ा जल्दी नहीं है? जब पीरियड्स पहले आ सकते हैं तो हमें तैयार भी तो पहले होना पड़ेगा।
So did you see this small clipping? What did you realize? There are small girls who are not aware of what it is. And then there are so many myths around and they get scared. So the reason why we need this session today, I think this video talks all of this and we really don't have to go further. But one thing is, there are girls who are even small, younger girls, as young as years. And there's no shame, there's no fear, there's no myth. We need to burst all of that, and that is what we are going to attempt in today's session. For all of you who have boys, who have brothers, even they should attend the session because they need to know how to build that empathy, how to support their sisters, their colleagues, their friends, their classmates together. And this is just another biological phenomenon, just like breathing, excretion, digestion. This is just one more phenomenon. So that is a reason why we have this session and why it's important that we all attend this session with our full focus in it. So the first part of it, we will try to understand what is menstruation first, and then we will go into the care and the emotional part of it. Okay? So, what is menstruation? Can somebody tell me?
Ma'am, when our body gets changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then, yeah. Then, Renatra?
Ma'am, I only know that much.
Okay, you know only that much. Anybody else who wants to tell a little more? What she said is right. What Renatra said is right. Beyond that, anyone else? So basically, menstruation, or what we call in our normal terms as periods, it is a monthly process. All girls, all ladies, whether it is girls, whether it is your mothers, whether it is your teachers, your elder sisters, all women get this process, this phenomenon called menstruation. It's every month. So it's a monthly process. And this happens after puberty. Puberty means once we attain the age when we are transitioning from the child to the adult stage. So that stage, that transition phase is the puberty, which is when the menstruation starts. What happens in menstruation? Okay, but before that, tell me, where does the baby grow in the mother's body? Anybody knows? Before birth, where does the baby
Ma'am,
grow?
in the womb.
In the womb. Yes,
In the
perfect.
uterus.
Fantastic. In the uterus. So every lady, every girl has a body part which is called the womb or the uterus. This is the place where the baby grows till the baby is big enough to take birth. Okay. Now, every month, the uterus prepares itself for growing a baby. But every month, we don't give birth to new babies, right? So, in that case, what happens to that preparation? The uterus sheds it off, or the uterus sheds that lining or the wall of the uterus, which becomes thick every month, trying to develop itself for taking care or growing a baby. That lining of the uterus gets shed every month and it comes out in the form of blood. Okay. And it gets expelled through the vagina. Now, what is a vagina? That is a passage through which, when a mother is giving birth to a baby comes out. And if there is no baby inside the womb, then this period's blood comes out. This is not the susu opening. This is not the opening of the ureter. This opening is an additional opening which all girls have. Boys have only two openings. One is for urine and one is for feces. Girls have three openings. One for urine, one for feces, that is the anal opening, and one third one, which is the vaginal opening, through which either the baby comes out or the blood comes out. Okay. Now, this menstruation lasts for 3 days, or for some girls, it is 5 days, and for some girls, it could even be up to 7 days. It's all normal. Different girls have different types of bodies. So, it can range anywhere between 3 to 5 or even 7 days. Okay. Any doubts?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah,
I didn't understand what you told.
you didn't understand. Okay. Now you see this picture. This is the body of a woman. Okay. Here you can see one big balloon like part in the middle. That is the womb or the uterus. Okay.
Hmm.
And in that uterus only the baby develops. Now, if there is no baby in the uterus, in that case, what will happen? Every month, our uterus tries to prepare itself. Now, how does the uterus prepare itself? Inside the uterus, it will form a thick lining of tissue and blood vessels. Okay, which this tissue and blood vessel helps the baby to grow. But if there are no babies, then there is no need of having the tissue and the blood vessel. So, at the end of every month, the uterus will shed that, or that extra lining which is formed will break and it will come out. It will come out through the, you can see a neck-like portion, a tube-like portion which is coming down. That portion, it comes out through that portion and it comes out of the body. That tube-like portion is the vagina, and the vagina has an opening through which this period's blood comes out every month. Clear now?
I can also give Sanchita. I'll just take a minute, maybe,
Yeah.
just to give them in the form of an example of a story. How many of you have seen a nest? How many of you have seen a nest, a bird nest? Did anyone of you just raise your hands? Okay, you, Trinetra, have seen. So, what is the use of nest? What is the use of nest?
To give eggs. The bird gives eggs.
Lay eggs, right? Right. So just imagine something like this. Say, for example, you are preparing a nest for this month. Okay, you're preparing a nest for this month with different. So nest, every bird will create a nest with different material. One would be from the leaves. One would be sometimes if you see crows, right? They even take some different material. So in such a way, you're taking one nest. You're creating one nest for this month, and you're waiting for eggs. Example, just imagine. So some eggs should form. You to lay an eggs. This is your nest, and you have to lay eggs. Not you. Say example, laying an eggs. Say for example, the eggs are not formed. So in a month, what is going to happen? So you created that nest with the green leaves. In a month, it gets dried, right? So the nest is of no use, so it goes off waste. Then again next month comes and again you create a new nest with new leaves. Okay, so in such a way every month you wait for that. If that doesn't happen, if eggs are not happening, what is going to happen? The leaves get dried and then it is of going waste. Okay, in such a way, now coming back to our body, in such a way, just like Sanchita ma'am told, what we are having here is just like a nest, we have uterus. So for laying an eggs, for us also, for having a babies, we have one particular place in our body. So for example, if egg is not forming in our body, what is going to happen? The just like how the leaves and everything gets dried and nest is of going waste, right? Here also, everything whatever has been created inside our body, everything would get so wasted, and that becomes that comes out in the form of a blood. Okay, this month there are no eggs, so I'm coming out of that. So in such a way, it comes out of our body in the form of a waste blood. Making sense? I'm not sure. I'm not a biological student, but something I felt like it could resonate. You all understand now? Yeah, perfect. Sanchita, over to you.
Awesome, Rizala. Thank you so much. This is where, parenting experience comes.
Okay.
Yeah. So now somebody said about puberty, right? So when we are transitioning from being a child to an adult. Now you see in this picture, there's a girl, there's a mother. Both are females, but their bodies are different. A girl's body looks different, a mother's body looks different. A boy's body looks different, a father's body looks different. But how does this girl grow up and her body becomes like that of her mother? Or how does this boy grow up and his body changes to like that of a matured man? So that process is known as puberty. Okay. So this is a time when there are a lot of physical changes happen. Why does these physical changes happen, or how does this physical changes happen? This is because of a lot of hormones which are getting formed in the body. Now, what are hormones? Anybody knows? Anyone knows hormones? No. No problem. So hormones are some chemicals which are formed in the body, and these chemicals help the body to grow and go through all these changes in the body. Okay. So it is because of these hormones that we become mature and we grow from child to an adult. And during this change of and this transition or this maturation, one of the things that happens in the body is the menstruation. But this transition from child to adulthood happens both for boys and girls. For girls, it is a little more earlier because for girls, it is anywhere between 8 years to even 13 years, sometimes even 14 or 15 years also. Every girl is different. So anywhere between 8 years to 14, 15 years also, the girls can attain puberty. For the boys, it starts somewhere between 9 years, it goes up to 14 years, even 15 or sometimes 16 years as well. Okay, so that is known as puberty.
Trinetra, you have a doubt? I think Trinetra is having doubt.
Yes, ma'am. Was sexual maturation?
Hmm? Sexual maturation. Okay, so in our body, we have different organs, right? For breathing, we have respiratory organs. For we have sense organs. Like that, we have reproductive organs also. Correct?
Okay.
So boys also have reproductive organs. Different girls have different reproductive organs. But these reproductive organs need to mature. So when we are kids, these reproductive organs are only present, but they are not functional. They are not matured. Only when you go through puberty and you go through this transition, this is the stage when the reproductive organs start maturing and they become functional. So that is known as sexual maturation.
Ma'am, even in boys?
Yes, even in boys, all the
Oh,
boys, they will not have menstruation like girls. They don't have periods, but even their bodies, they are also kids. They have to grow and become like big men, right? So their body also has to change. So then in the next slide, we are going to see what kind of changes happen in our bodies as girls and what kind of changes happen in the boys' bodies. Okay, so let's see that. See, there are some changes which happen only in the boys. There are some changes which happen only in the girls. And there are some changes which happen in both boys as well as girls. So let us see the girls first. For the girls, as they start growing, as they start maturing from child to adult, during puberty, the breast starts growing. Periods start, the body shape starts changing and becomes more like a woman, where the hips will become more broader. Okay. As against that, when you look at the boys, when the boys are becoming like men, they start getting mustaches, they start getting beard. So that is hair on the face. On the chest of the men, they have hair, right? So during this puberty transition, the boys start getting hair on their chest. Then their body becomes more muscular, and then for the boys, as their reproductive system starts developing, they start getting wet dreams. Okay. Now, there are some
What's
changes.
wet dreams?
Okay. Wet dreams means just like in case of the women, the body is preparing or the nest is preparing, right? Same way, in the boys also, their body is also preparing. Not in a monthly manner, but their body continuously keeps preparing on a daily basis. Now, again, if there is no need, then their body also gives out all that which is not required. But that happens when they are sleeping at night. They get some dreams where they get aroused, and then their body leaves out or gives away the sperms which are produced in their body. So in the girl's body, the ovum or the egg is formed. In the boy's body, the sperms are formed. Okay. So the eggs, if they don't develop, then the nest gives away and then we get periods. For the boys, they don't have anything called periods. So it comes out when they are sleeping in the form of a wet dream. Why we call it a wet dream? Because the body is excreting it, or it is ejecting it or ejaculating it without their knowledge when they are sleeping. They see some dreams and they get excited and then they ejaculate those extra sperms. Okay, so that is called wet dreams. But both boys and girls can get pimples. They both start getting hair under the underarms. They start getting hair in the pubic areas. The sweat glands become more active, so the sweat starts smelling. And these are some of the physical changes which are happening both in boys and girls. Likewise, there are some behavioral changes also which happen both in boys and girls, like uh, suddenly the boys and girls will start becoming more conscious. They become more aware of their physical body. They will start behaving more maturely. They will uh, they will feel that they want to be more independent. So there is a need for independence which comes, but they are still transitioning. They have not gone and developed into full adults. So even if there is a need for independence, we need to be careful about what we are independent with. We still need to listen to our parents. We still need to listen to adults. We still need to get their guidance. We just cannot become independent because we are still transitioning and we have not fully become adults yet. Okay. Likewise, when you are trying to become an adult and your parents or teachers are not allowing everything, you may feel again some kind of mood swings. So you know now that it is all happening because of hormones. It is happening because you want to do something and others are preventing you. So these mood swings, you should not allow yourself to get drifted, but you should become aware when you are getting the mood swings and then come out of that. So today we will also tell you how to do that. Okay. Okay. Now to know a little more about periods. So we said already, what is the age in which it starts?
9 to 13 years.
9 to 13 years, or it can even be 8 years for some girls. It could be 14, 15 years also. Okay. And we said, right, there are some hormones in the body which are responsible for all these changes. So the names of those two hormones are estrogen and progesterone. Okay. These two hormones, their production, their secretion keeps changing throughout the month in the body, because of which the uterus is able to prepare itself, and then it is able to shed itself also. And like we said, periods last for 3 to 5 days. Sometimes it can go also for 7 days. And when in the initial years, you may have irregular periods also, which is completely normal. There is no problem if somebody has irregular periods in the initial few months or maybe a year or so. But if that continues to be like that, then there is a need to see a doctor. But in the initial stages, it's okay, right? And how do you know that periods are going to come or periods have just started? So the initial signs are that the breast starts developing, the breast starts budding. Some girls can experience white discharge also, a slippery kind of a discharge, just like how we, when we get cold, we get no, like that kind of a discharge. Or uh, the body hair also starts developing in the girls. So when these changes start happening, then you know that sooner or later you are also going to get the periods. Okay. However, it is not hard and fast that every girl will get all the symptoms. So each girl is different. Some may get earlier, some may get later, and there can be difference also. Okay. Now, all of you present here are between 9 to 12 years. So you are still in what classes? Fourth, fifth standard, sixth standards, and so on. So now what I'm going to talk about is a little more biology, which is a little more technical. If you don't understand, don't get stressed. Don't think that, yo, what happened? She told something, I didn't understand anything. So no problem, even if you don't understand, you will read all these things in your 9th, 8th, 9th and 10th standard biology syllabus. So if there are anybody who is here from 8th, 9th, 10th standard, you will be able to get to know all of this. It will be like a revision for you. And for all the rest of you who are younger, don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself. Okay. Now, we saw a picture, right, in the beginning where we saw where the reproductive organs are present. Remember? So now we are seeing inside the body, how does that organ look like? So the first organ is the ovary. Ovary is where we produce eggs in the body. And then there is a tube, forget about the name, fallopian tube, that carries the egg. It brings it to this in-between part, which is the uterus, which is like a bag-like structure. In this uterus only, the baby develops. And in this uterus only, the wall of the uterus prepares itself. So the nest gets formed inside this itself. So this is the body part or the organ inside which the lining of the uterus starts becoming thicker and thicker every month. And if a baby comes, then well and good, that lining acts like a cushion and it helps the baby to develop. It provides food, nutrition to the baby. But if there is no baby, then you can see below there is the fourth part, which is the vagina, through which the blood comes out of the body. So this is how the female reproductive system looks like inside the body. Any doubts? Anyone? Lydia, Lavanya, Vaishali, Nisha? No doubts? Okay, then we'll proceed. This looks very complicated, but it is not. This round circle on the left side, it is actually a month. So generally, the period cycle, we are saying, right, every month it comes. So it is a monthly cycle. So generally, it comes anywhere between 28 days to 30 or 32 days also. Okay. So the first 5 to 7 days of this cycle is known as menstruation. And on the right side, if you see the first number 1, this is menstruation. So this is where the cycle starts. This is the time when the body is releasing all this menstrual blood and the uterus thickening. No? Then is the next stage, which is the proliferative stage. That is number 2 and number 3. This is the stage when the ovary is preparing the egg. Okay. And then the inner lining of the uterus starts slowly becoming thicker. And once the ovary has prepared the egg, the follicle, it goes to the next stage, which is 13th to 15th day of the month, not the calendar 15th. Okay, the menstrual cycle we will count from the first day when the bleeding starts. You don't look at January 1st. If the periods start on January 4th, then the menstrual cycle first day is January 4th. Okay. So, like that, on the between 13th to 15th day, the ovary will release the ovum, and this ovum will then go into fallopian tube, and it will come to the uterus. So that is the ovulation stage. In the uterus, if there are any sperms, in the fallopian tube, if there are any sperms, then there will be a fusion of sperm and ovum, and then the new baby starts growing. But if there are no sperms coming there, then this ovum will come out of the fallopian tube. It will come to the uterus, and since there are no baby, nothing in the uterus, the next few days, the uterus is going on preparing itself, and it is becoming thicker and thicker. So number 5, number 6, and number 7, you can see that the uterus lining is becoming thicker and thicker. This part is known as the secretory phase or the luteal phase. This is the time where the uterus is the maximum thick. But since there are no baby, then what will happen at the end of that month, on between the 28th day or the 29th, 30th, 31st day, the menstruation will start all over again. Got it? Any doubts?
Ma'am, is it true that your stomach pains when you have menstruation?
For some people, it may pain. For some people, it may not pain. It is different for different people. Okay. And why does it happen that it comes out in the form of blood only? Why not like urine, water, or why not like potty? Why it is in the form of blood?
I don't know, ma'am.
It is for scaring you or? No.
Because the tissues are made out of blood.
Exactly. So you see that, Mithila, if you can go a little bit back to that same cycle, you can see below you have a picture. This is how the uterus lining becomes. Initially, it is so thin. As it becomes thicker and thicker, it becomes so fat. And all that is made up of blood vessels. So when this uterus lining sheds itself, this blood vessels break and then the blood comes out. But just because blood is coming out doesn't mean you have to be scared. It is not going to harm because it's a natural process, right? So it is not going to harm you. It is not going to affect you. You don't have to be scared about it. Now, beyond this, after you have started getting the period, we're going to see how to take care of yourself, how to take care of your bodies, what you should eat, what you should do, what you should not do. Like you said, right, that some people may get pains. So what kind of symptoms happen? Somebody may get pain, somebody may get headache, somebody may get backache. So many things, different people happen. But how do you handle it? So that is where I am going to request Bhavna to take over from me and then take you through this portion of the session.
Sure, Sanchita. Thank you. It was very nice till now. Listening to every bit of your explanation, wonderfully made slides. So from here, I'll take it on. Okay.
I was saying is, I think Sanchita has mentioned like the blood flow is happening, right? So I think it's everyone has understood the blood flow is happening every month, once every
Yes.
no eggs and all. Then
Yeah.
so if you don't use anything, so there should be something to cover, right? So the blood is flowing just like that. So where should it go? All your dresses get wet, right? So there should be some a kind of diaper. How many of you know diapers, right? So why do you use diaper when you were young? Because you don't know how to go to restroom during those days, right? During those days, and that's why diaper was there, and you can go there. In the same way, you don't know when that blood comes out, so that's the reason you have a thin layer kind of pad, just like a diaper was a thinner one. This is a very thicker one, thicker kind of a diaper thing, so which can absorb the blood. So diaper absorbs the watery things, but this absorbs the blood. And Bhavna is gonna start about this. What and all the options are there to absorb that? A kind of different types of diapers. She's gonna take over from there. Sorry, Bhavna, please go
Okay.
ahead.
Sorry, I was like a little not very clear there. Okay. So, so if you see what options you have here, I'll tell you that. Okay. So we have a lot of commercial products to protect you from this, from like what you can use in school. So now you have disposable pads. This is common for beginners. So like it comes in all sizes from smaller to larger, so you will be comfortably using this, and this has been universally being used everywhere throughout. And there are options like getting organic, so which is not made out of any chemicals or plastics. You have many skin friendly brands like that. And for a little bit older kids like 16 plus, you can start using menstrual cups and tampons. Okay, but you have now more options like cloth pads, and also you are getting period panties. So period panties are much more comfortable options where you can just wear the panties, but it doesn't soak it. I mean, it doesn't expose it outside. It just sucks out. I mean, it just keeps it intact, your menstrual blood intact within the panties, and it is safe for 8 hours. So you just have to understand your which size fits you, and whether you're comfortable. Try it at home when you're staying on a once or twice. Check it at home before you take it outside, so you will understand what is the appropriate size you can use for yourself. Can we move on to the next slide? Go to school, or when you're out during your uh, a safety kit has to be essentially taken everywhere. So when you know, like when you're crossing your 25th day or 26th day, we would recommend you having a period kit essentially. Carry one or two pads with yourself. Have an extra clean underwear, and you have some wet tissues and a small pouch, and wet tissues and regular tissues, everything in your school bag. So when you don't know the exact time, you can use this. And you have to be prepared a lot, because many Indian girls face emergencies at school. It's not just you. In that case, don't get panicked. You can always approach a trusted friend within your group, or you can also contact the teachers, so they will handle it from there. Okay, so you should always feel safe, and you should open up to go and talk to the teachers or your peer friends who has already who have already got into their menstrual cycles. And always carry this kit. Okay, when you know, like one set, whether you need it or your friends need it, you will always it is safe to have one set in your bag. So how do we handle this period pain and emotions? So if you see, it is common if you have some nutritional deficiencies, or if you have been exhausted, or if you haven't slept enough, you'll have some changes in your body. Like during the periods, you will feel cramps, and it's not that like you don't have support there. So if you nutritionally, what you can do is have something called period cycle. So during your seed cycle, seed cycle, you have to take some foods, special foods during your puberty. Like, I mean, after your puberty, you have to take iron-rich foods, so which will help you replace your lost blood during menstruation. So it prevents your dizziness and weakness, and you will need calcium-rich foods, So I'll be during the end of this session, I'll give you a list of foods which you will need. So whether like calcium-rich foods, magnesium-rich foods, which will act as natural muscle relaxants, and it calms your uterus. It reduces the irritability, and foods which calms your cramps and strengthen your bones. So during this growing phase, during this painful period time, and when you have mood swings, these nutrients like iron, calcium, magnesium, vitamin B, vitamin C, zinc, omega 3, folate, vitamin D, and iodine. So these are some nutrients which will support your menstrual health. So and when you have these nutrients, you will have lesser chances of getting these mood swings or back pain, or you don't have to skip school because of pain. So once you do these healthy food options for a couple of months, your pain and mood swings starts to reduce. And when you have these kind of symptoms, it is always better to talk to your mother, ask her to approach a nutritionist or a doctor, get medical support, and reduce it. And you don't have to face it every month. If you do the right approach, you don't have to face it every month. You can resolve it in under 45 days. So we need to understand that few things can be done. So some you might have doubts. Now I'm bleeding. Can I bath? Yes, absolutely. It is better to have a nice warm bath, clean up yourself once or twice a day, and dip once or twice before bedtime. So it will reduce your stress. It will calm your body, and you can go to sleep well. And you can do physical activities. It depends upon each individual. So going to school, if you see, it is normal to go to school during periods. Your mothers, your aunts, everybody goes to school, work, everywhere. Okay, so it is normal, but it depends upon how much tired you feel. Okay, if you need a rest day, if it is intolerable on a scale of 10, if it is more painful, about 8 or 7, you can request for a day off. But it is very normal to go to school during your period. Okay, so you can request your games teacher or your PT teacher to give you some halt, not to have vigorous physical activities. But if you are really comfortable, you feel very strong, your bones are good, you don't feel any cramps, you can definitely engage with the safety measures you have to take, like wearing your period panties or your pads and everything. Okay, and see to it you don't get exhausted. Okay, and definitely period blood is not impure. It is definitely pure. It carries a lot of nutrients. It is very, you should feel very grateful that you're having periods regularly. It is good for you. It is good. Okay, it is not impure. Can we just move on to the next slide? Okay, so nutrition during puberty, this is something you have to understand, that everybody nowadays start periods as early as 9 and 8 years old. Okay, in the worst case I've seen younger, but now starting as early as 9 years and 13, between 9 to 13 years, it is the common age group for Indian girls. But this has become lesser and lesser. The age has drastically reduced to 9 because of the changing food habits mainly, and increased body fat and all the other environmental factors. I understand how many of you, I just want to understand how many of you go out every weekend, have a lot of junk. Please tell me how many of you take a lot of junk during weekends. Every time you step out, you go to a mall, you go to a...
Very rarely.
Very rarely. Good, good. Others? Anybody else wishes to answer? So for the kids who consume a lot of junk, no, during even if you do it 2 meals a week, it is close to 100 meals in a year. So it has a lot of chemicals to enhance the taste. Even if you just have a cake, you have a lot of coloring agents in it. You have a lot of baking agents, baking powder. You have a lot of preservatives, enhancers, anti-caking agents. A lot of products are there. Even if you just get a pastry or any Chinese food, any restaurant food, it has a lot of omega-6 and very less omega-3. Healthy, I'm talking about healthy fats. So the more and more junk you take, you load your body with a lot of chemicals which are hard to dispose. Hence, what happens? This is all stored in excess fat. The body converts all the extra carbohydrates into fats and store it in your body, and in that fat, will store a lot of chemicals. So this is the a growing amount of fat percentage is a major reason children are getting periods very early. And also, kindly avoid continuously getting stimulants like I watch a lot of reels, so this is a stimulant. I watched a lot of exciting adrenal movies. Reduce that. Cartoons, hyperactive cartoons. So reduce those. When you keep your brain hyper at this age, your brain actually, your hypothalamus and your pituitary ovary HPO axis, they say it actually governs your body, and this will make you grow faster. These stimulants make you grow faster beyond your age. What the milestones are hit even before the recommended age. So it is suggested that you reduce watching these kind of stimulants and go for anything which is less stimulating and calming. Okay, guys, are you there with me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now let's just understand a little about some core nutrients needed for menstrual health. Okay, so I can say I will talk about a few foods which are very essential for your age. Okay, I think, are you comfortable like having ragi, spinach, curry leaves, sesame till laddus, dates, jaggery? Is this common food you eat at home regularly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
great. Then you're on right track. So when we talk about nutrition, we need to know that we have to keep variety, not just about chapatis and dosas, regular dal rice. This might not be enough for the growing age and the monthly cycles, lost blood and other things. Okay, because every single core nutrient has a lot of job to do. So if I'm talking about iron, it actually replaces the menstrual blood. If you don't take iron, children, you might get anemic, dizzy, and weak. So we need a lot of iron-rich foods, which comes from a lot of greens. So see to it, ask your mom to prepare some sort of greens every day. Either you can actually add it to your purees, add it as purees, like any greens, moringa or spinach, everything. You can just make it into a puree, add to your atta, make it into chapatis, or you can add it to your dosas, or you can make greens rice, dal rice, like that. So to replace the lost blood, iron is required, and greens play a major role in contributing iron to you. And when it comes to cramps, the period cramps and the growing bones, you are not just growing reproductively, but you are growing overall. You're growing, your brain is growing, your bones are growing. You being an adult is like you have to handle a lot of emotions, get productive, very strong. So being an adult comes with a lot of responsibilities. For that, you need a very strong physical body. So having a calcium rich meal helps you reduce cramps and strengthen your bones. Okay, and magnesium. So this is a body relaxant. When you kids have menstrual cycles, your muscles, your uterus muscles needs to relax. Your uterus must become calm, and you should feel less irritability. So we know that you might have
जिसका पैसा देंगे वो बेकरी
so it is suggested that you have magnesium in your diet, magnesium rich foods. So when it comes to magnesium rich foods, you can have dark leafy vegetables, you can have pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, you can roast your pumpkin seeds, add some coconut or jaggery, and plus some other dry fruits, and make it into laddus, and you can have sunflower seeds like that and pumpkin seeds like that. You can have bajra dosa, you can have bananas. Am I clear? Loud and clear?
Yes, Bhavna.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these nutrients, and also when I told about calcium, I didn't mention the food. So you get your calcium from ragi, moringa leaves, sesame seeds, You get it from paneer, curd, cow's milk, and curry leaves. Okay. And other nutrients, what you will need is vitamin D. So when it comes to vitamin D, why do you need vitamin D? Vitamin D helps in calcium absorption. And when you grow a little more slower, when you enter 15 years, 16 years, it will prevent you from having irregular cycles. So if your cycles are delayed by 45 days or 35 days or more, if it is extending, these vitamin D is required to regulate this. One second.
Am I on the right page or did I?
Hello. Mridula, can you change the slide, ma'am?
Is this the one? Or?
Ma'am, what is there for vitamin D? What is there for vitamin D? Ma'am, you're on mute.
Bhavna, you're there?
Yes, I am there. One
Get
second.
vitamin D when you go out in the sun. Yeah. So
Yeah.
So when you go out in the sun, you get vitamin D. When you eat mushroom, you get vitamin D.
Eat
When
what?
you
Mushrooms and egg yolks and milk.
take a lot of greens, you get.
And mostly, I suggest expose yourself to at least 10 to 15 minutes of sun exposure. Okay, expose yourself to sun.
Okay.
Okay. And what else you need is you need zinc and also folate. So this will help you produce more of your red blood cells. This is not only for the girl child. This is also for the boys. Okay, you need a lot of red blood cells for your future immunity or strength and everything. Okay.
Can you please show the protein sources slide?
Okay. So when it comes to protein, we just don't need the protein for the muscle growth, but every cell in your body is made up of protein and healthy fats. Okay, and also the antioxidants. If you notice your thyroid organ, it looks different. Its nutritional needs are different, and for your uterus, it's different. So it's for a uterus, for example, you will need a lot of protein, zinc, omega 3, and B vitamins, and also for the menstrual cycles, you'll need lot of iron.
Ma'am, what is
Yeah, tell
zinc?
me. It is a mineral which is essential for you. So it supports your hormones. You're the one who asked what is hormone, right? Hormone is a messenger. See, it actually is created. See, hormones are like see, now you have to grow from a child to adult. So there is something called a growth hormone. So hormones will be secreted in one gland, and the brain directs the glands to secrete it. So the brain is the main, like a teacher. Okay. So now the teacher tells secrete the growth hormone, secrete the estrogen. So the female child can have menstruation. So it is all made up of cholesterols, healthy fats. Okay. And girls and mothers of girl childs, do not put them on a low fat diet or any less amount of fat. Don't cut down their ghee, cut down their healthy fats, because all of their hormones mostly are made from protein sources and healthy fats like ghee, nuts, seeds, wood pressed oils, like that. Okay. And by in the end of the session, if you have any questions, like you need a protein list, high protein list, or a healthy fats list, whatever you need, you can just make a list of questions, and I will give you the PDF for the same. Okay, and why is that we have to avoid junk? One thing. So I've been telling you. So I've been telling you we need to avoid junk because to avoid the preservatives, chemicals in it, and also to prevent from getting a lot of omega 6. Omega 3 is essential for the body, which is healthy, but omega 6 is something which drags us to have a lot of disease within ourselves. Emotional health and confidence. Mridula?
Yes, Bhavna.
I think I have to cover a little more on
Sure.
nutrition.
Yeah, sure. Can I go back? Yeah.
No, it's okay. I can tell the recipes what is actually needed.
Yep, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So, girls, when it comes to your period cycles, there is a certain type of pattern of eating it is suggested. Okay. So, during menstrual cycles, from day 1 to day 5, you have to work on blood building nutrients food. So, blood needs to be built. You need iron rich foods. You need hydration because you need losing a lot of water along with your blood. So, foods like drumstick soup or spinach soup, beetroot sabji, and sesame till laddus and jaggery milk. These are something you can have regularly during your first 5 days of menstrual cycles to build your menstrual blood. And hydration is very crucial. Like you can change your regular plain water to jeera water, have coconut water, you can have tulsi water, and you can have some if you want something warm you can have rasam varieties, you can have sesame rasam, you can have beetroot rasam, you can have mango rasam, green mango rasam, like that. Okay, so you need during the menstrual phase you need to work on building the blood building food and also hydration. And during the next 6 to 13 days you have to support your body with a lot of protein, like chenna stir fries, like you can have chenna masala or boiled eggs or sprouts dosa, like pesarattu, they call pesarattu and adai. So those kind of foods you can have. And you can have chia seeds, soaked chia seeds with curd, like instead of replacing the rice with chia seeds, like that you can have. So these will help you build your protein. And also you need to provide a lot of brain nourishment during this phase. You can have chia seeds and walnut, badam, pista. You can blend everything into smoothie and have it with coconut milk, or you can have turmeric milk, turmeric pepper, and have some saffron and have a milk, like that. And during the 14th ovulation phase, that time you need to support your ovaries, so that you can have zinc rich foods, like because zinc is a reparative mineral your body needs to repair and replace regularly. For your ovary support you can have rajma, sesame chutney, or you can, if you're a non-vegetarian, you can have fish curry, like that. And for antioxidants, keep your plates like a rainbow. Okay, fruit bowls like berries and papaya, mango, ABC juice, these can be had during your ovulatory phase. And foods after day 15 to 28, in between, like that, you can have calming smoothies like banana, roasted pumpkin seeds, and ajwain water. Instead of jeera water, you can now have ajwain water. Omam, we call omam in Tamil. And some mood enhancing foods like dry nuts laddu, soaked almonds, and ghee based, a lot of ghee based recipes you can have. Okay. And traditionally, mothers, this is for you. You can give them ragi porridge, sesame jaggery balls, and varapu. We call varapu and varathandu, banana flower, stir fry. Those are recipes which nourish the reproductive organs of the female child. And you can also give them dry ginger coffee, like sukku coffee, they call it here. It doesn't have the actual coffee powder. It is made out of dry ginger. You can give that milk to them, heat it up with sukku and give them. North Indian can have besan halwa with nuts and ajwain paratas during periods to avoid cramps. And you can regularly give them fermented millet porridges. Here they give during summers they give a lot of kanjis. Overnight soaked millets, cooked millets, they will be soaked with water overnight. In morning they will have buttermilk added to it and blend it and give it. So those types of all type of millet porridges can be given. Green leafy curries can be given, and root vegetables like Some root vegetables like beetroot and kelangu, all sorts of those can be given along with the kanji. Okay. Is there any questions regards to nutrition before we move on?
No, ma'am.
Parents?
Can you repeat what all we have to eat during the periods?
I can actually give you a PDF because it's hard for you to remember. I can give you the PDF copy. Can Mama download it from the group?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'll give you the complete food list. Okay, no worries.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions you have?
No.
Hi. Actually, papaya you have mentioned to eat, but some people say that if we eat papaya, there'll be a lot of menstrual. I mean, the overflow will be happen. Is it right or
No, it's just a myth. You can have a large bowl. That's not an issue.
Okay.
Pregnant women are not allowed to eat papaya during their initial first 2 to 3 months. Otherwise, anybody can have.
Okay, done.
Okay.
And before because my daughter still she has not attended. I mean, puberty she has not got it. So
what is her age, ma'am?
10 now. Can she
10
have
now.
the papaya right now? Because in my house, they are telling not to give papaya. So don't give at this time because she'll get the
Early periods.
early periods.
No, ma'am, you can actually make a list of fruits like papaya, watermelon. You can give all the seasonal fruits because based on the season, the body reacts a lot. So, what are the seasonal foods? Like now, you can have papaya, dragon fruit, and watermelon, nung, the ice apple, whatever you're getting on the season, you can definitely give them. It is going to replace the nutrients which is lost due to the weather. So there's nothing like that. It is going to trigger period. Two things you have to keep in mind if something might trigger the period is the stimulation. Mainly the content they watch. If they see more couple involved videos, or that is what the research says. When they see a little bit of age inappropriate content, they naturally build the hormones what they need to feel that. So that is one thing. And the other food is getting fat. More fat percentage the body has, the more opportunity for the brain to signal we have enough fat to start the process to become an adult. So that is what we have to see. And also the junk. Junk also mimics hormones.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Yeah.
I saw your introduction as a health coach. Do you also help in like kids facing like high BMI issue or obesity? Like
Yes, definitely. We help them go back to a healthy diet with we replace the high carb with low carb foods, and also brain functioning and academic performances, and also along with sports diet we definitely give them, and we'll see to it they reduce at least 5% every month and bring them to their normal values. It is not about reducing the fat percentage but also building their muscle and bones age appropriately to their height.
okay, okay. I'll try to contact you separately, ma'am, offline. Yeah. Thank
Sure,
you.
definitely. Any other questions? Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Okay, Mridula, I think we can move on.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pavna. As always, lot of stuff. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And okay, I know we are already like 1 hour beyond, like 1 hour 20 minutes. So how many of you guys actually need a break? Let me know. So I don't take much more time because we have already dragged 20 minutes ahead. So I'll take just 5 minutes. Is that all okay for everyone? Just let me know. We can unmute and say or something. Yeah, cool. So far we discussed about how does the body changes, what and all is gonna happen, all this, right? And also what is the good diet that we should take also has been covered. So what is pending? What do you think? What is pending? Emotional health and confidence. Okay, is that really required? Let me know. Can someone say is that really required or not? Is that really required for this menstruation and whatever we are discussing now, this emotional health? What is meant by emotional health, firstly? Any idea? We know health, we know physical health. Physical health is being strong, right?
Emotional health is like how we feel.
How we feel, yeah, okay.
Very nicely told.
Exactly. So, how many of you have watched?
Basically, how our brain works.
Mm-hmm. How our brain works. Awesome. So this is all more about emotional health. So during menstruation, so even Sanchita ma'am and Bhavna ma'am, the two of them have mentioned one common thing, which is like hormonal changes, right? There are a lot of hormone changes which happens in our body during that time. So hormones are directly proportional to our brain. Okay. So whatever we do, all our emotional health, when we talk about emotion, it's all about our brain, right? So when different kinds of hormones get, they're just going into our brain, what is going to happen, right? You sometimes feel moody, you sometimes feel cranky, you sometimes feel happy, you sometimes feel so sad, you sometimes feel so shy. Okay, you feel all the different emotions in your body. Okay, sometimes when you get periods, so we talked about all those, this 3 days every month you have that blood flow, right? So those 3 days you may have that feelings, or sometimes before days you will have that feelings, or after that also you can have that feelings. So amongst it, all these days you will have that feelings. Is it necessary that you have to know about this? Exactly, yes. So that you will understand. Just to let you know, say, let us go back to the same example which we talked about, which was the nest, right? So the nest, and then there was a bird has formed. Just imagine you laid one egg and you have an egg, okay, and that baby has formed, baby bird has formed, and in a day, what is that baby is gonna try? So it says like, hey, now I have wings, I want to fly, right? Then what do? It's your baby and it is gonna try to fly. What do? Will you allow her to fly? Will you allow the baby bird to fly?
No, ma'am.
It's just a day one. Why don't you allow?
Because it will fall, ma'am.
Yeah, because it will fall. It's just a day one baby, right? It will fall for sure. But what is that baby? What does that baby feel? Hey, come on, I have wings just like you. I too can fly. It tries its best, but her mama, imagine that that is you. So you will stop doing it. No, you should not fly right away because there is still time for you. What is going to happen in between mama and the baby bird? There is a fight between two, because bird is thinking I can do and mama is thinking no, you cannot, you still need some protection. This kind of behavior happens in you during that periods time, okay, during that menstruation time. So you feel like I am independent, I can do anything, I have my wings now, I can do anything. This is how you generally feel. Okay. So during that time, but your mama, what does she feel? No, you're still a baby. Wait, there is a time for you to leave. So there is a time for me to leave your hand. So till that, let me wait. So there is a clash between you and your mama sometimes. Okay. Understand there is a reason behind that, because your hormonal changes. Got it? So this is all are important. Especially you may get lot of fights with your mummies. I'm telling you, right? Being a girl, so we all have completed that phase. You often feel, right, your mama always tries to protect you, and you always feel no, I can handle it. So during that situations and all these hormonal changes, so chances are there would be some disputes between both of you. So imagine and understand when mama is saying, take a pause and understand, okay, this could be because of my hormonal changes. Okay, so this could be the reason. So I think mama is trying to protect me. If you feel you are correct, take a pause, think, and explain to your mom. But do not fight. Okay, you're all with me? You understand why it is? It's something like when you're trying to scold your mom or shout at your mom, yell at your mom, it's something like bird is trying to fly in day two. Okay? You're behaving just like you wanna fly in day two. Understand? Take a time, take a pause, and take some time. And why your parents, what your parents are saying, listen to them, think and understand. Sometimes you don't feel like listening because it is due to your hormonal changes. Okay, because the body is saying some different signals it is sending. We all know, like I always say, there is a story like we have a good brain and bad brain. So good brain gives us a good signals to us, and bad brain says no, why should I do it and all, right? In such a way, there are a few hormones which says like no, why should I listen to that? So when you feel like that, take a pause, reduce that, and think about it. So that gives us the emotional health. This is quite mostly related to this, how when this hormonal changes occurs, how should you react, how you need. Okay, got it? Are you all with me? Then I'll quickly go to this thing. So already few points already Sanchita and Bhavna has covered. So by this time I don't think you will be in a state. How do you feel? So you may feel confused or scared. I don't think if you have attended this session, there is no more confusion, there is no more scaring, right? Because you all understand the whole concept of menstruation. And when you see blood, just like in the advertisement, in the video, the before the session we saw one video, the baby girl, she doesn't know anything. The moment when she see blood, she thought like there is some disease that she may going to die, right? Because she is not aware of that. But now if you are into that stage, you all know, you're all aware that you are moved to the next level, which is into menstruation stage. Got it? So you need not to feel anymore. Then, as mentioned, there is no embracement over here. It's just a part of our life. Okay. So, everyone, all your parents, all your mothers, all your aunts, your relatives, any woman that you see, everyone are going through this phase, and this is very common. So, you need not to feel embraced about it. Okay. Okay. Let me. Okay. Then anxious about pains or leaks. So Bhavna has mentioned and Sanchita has mentioned there are some things. Let me give you a small example. When I was in 10th standard, I have seen one of my friends started crying during the class hours. I mean the break hour. All of a sudden she started crying. She has a very bad cramp, it seems. So I was new to that school, but my friends, all my other friends, right, they started immediately grabbed her and took her to waiting. There is a sleeping room was there. So they immediately took her to that room, and everyone, few of the girls started bringing the hot patches and all. So they made her to soothe her. What is that it is happening? Because every time she gets period, she gets lot of stomach pain. Okay, so what my friends, the other friends did was they tried to reduce her pain with all these hot patches, hot water packs and all. So what I mean to say here is don't get anxious or anything. Sometimes you don't have any other pains, but sometimes you may have few pains like back pain or stomach pain. But there are replacements for this. You can have it with a replacement. I mean, just like Bhavna, whatever she mentioned, right? You can have a healthy food dietary. You even can escape from those. Okay. So upset by mood swings, what that's what we just discussed. Okay. And the last one is okay, tips for girls. These are few tips which we just mentioned. It's okay to feel moody. Sometimes you will feel moody. Okay. When you feel moody, what is that you have to do is take a pause. And how many of you like journalism? Journaling? How many of you know journaling? Something like whatever you feel, you can sit and write, right? Sometimes, like, there are a lot of things are happening in your mind, right? You don't know what to do. You don't even feel sometimes to talk to your parents or something. What is that you have to do is just dump that into a paper. Just dump that thoughts into your paper. Just sit and note down what is that you're feeling. Why am I feeling? Everything you just make a note of it and see the result. Okay. So sometimes when you start writing everything, whatever your brain is feeling, you're just shifting that into a paper, and now your brain is empty and it's free now. Okay. So anytime, even not only for the menstruation, I'm telling you, anytime this may happen. Sometimes when you are into nearby that menstruation timing, right, puberty stage, so chances are there that there are a lot of hormonal changes gonna get started. So during that time, the chances are there for a mood swings. So when you feel that you are immediately going something moody or something, right? So take this. Journaling is one of the best thing. Okay.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Ma'am, tips keep a comfort kit pads, chocolate heat pad. Why do we need to keep a chocolate?
Yeah. That's a very interesting question. So this is something where I don't know how many of you like chocolates, right? So this is one of the best time to have a good chocolates, but not like Kit Kat or any other chocolates. This is like dark chocolate. So when you have a stomach pain or something, right, during that time, so if eating a dark chocolate could actually reduce the pain. I'm not sure, this is what something I learned about, but Bhavna, please correct me if I'm wrong. But this is something that, so they generally say if you eat a chocolate, dark chocolate, it reduces the pain. Okay, that's the reason.
But don't you have to eat like those black chocolates?
Yeah, so it has more of
Cocoa powder.
cocoa powder. Then that is good for health. That has less sugary, not more dairy added. All that.
Okay. Mm.
Okay. Yeah. And finally, yes, whenever you feel lonely and all, so always remember during that time, in the initial days, whatever we are talking about would be, you may feel all these feelings for the first initial days. So that time, don't get scared. You're not alone. We all are going through this and you're just joined. Okay, you will be just joining to that world. That's it. Okay, so you can happily feel free to share with your mother first, especially, or any elders, whomever you are comfortable with. Okay.
Let us now look at the yogasanas or exercises which are recommended during menstruation. So these poses focus on relaxation, gentle stretching and easing the pelvic discomfort. So the first one is the reclining bound angle pose or the Supta Baddha Konasana. This helps to open the hips, lower the abdominal tension, and for this you need to lie down, bring the soles of your feet together, knees fall outwards, and then you can support the knees with pillows if needed. The other one is child pose or balasana. This helps to remove cramps and fatigue, and here you have to kneel, widen the knees, rest the belly between the thighs and the forehead on the floor. Apanasana is knees to chest pose. This elevates the lower back pain and bloating. For this, lie on your back, bring the knees to chest and gently hug them in. The next one is Setu Bandhasana or the supported bridge pose. You can use a bolster here, and here there is a gentle stimulation which the pelvic organs get because of doing this asana. But make sure that you are supporting it with the bolster. In the picture, the bolster is not shown, but use a block or a bolster and don't lift the hips too high. And do all of these asanas very gently, and if the cramping is too intense, then avoid doing any exercises. Now the exercises which should be avoided during the heavy flow are inversions like the headstand or the shoulder stand, because they disrupt the downward flow of blood, which is the normal thing that happens during periods. Second is strong back bends like the wheel pose or the chakrasana. Then strong twists or core focused poses, because that can cause discomfort or strain during the periods to the abdominal organs. Now let us look at this whole thing from the boys' perspectives. Boys often feel confused or uncomfortable discussing periods, mostly due to the societal norms. However, it is essential for them to understand menstruation. 1, to support their partners, friends and family members. 2, to break down stigmas and stereotypes. And 3, to foster empathy and understanding. So by learning about periods, boys can become more informed, respectful and supportive individuals. And this knowledge helps to build stronger relationships and promotes a more inclusive society. Now, how should you boys behave when someone has their periods? 1, never tease or joke. Never make fun of periods, stains or pads, because it's completely a natural process. Be kind and supportive, because if a friend or sister is looking uncomfortable, then offer help silently and kindly. Do not make them feel embarrassed. Do not stare at the stains. If you notice a stain, quietly inform the girl or an adult. Do not point it out in front of others or to others. Offer your help, not your opinion. So, if she needs water or a pad or a space to rest, quietly ask, "Do you want me to get someone to help you?" Respect her privacy. Don't ask personal questions about periods unless she brings it up to you. And don't spread rumors. If you do not know something or what you might have happened, or thoughts, because those might be just myths. And if you know someone has started periods, never gossip about it. And don't behave like it's a gross thing. So periods blood is natural, it is clean, and when we get hurt, we also bleed. So it's nothing different. And don't laugh when periods are discussed, because whether in class or at home, you should show that maturity and chivalry, and you should be listening. So for which it is important that you learn the basics, you know what is happening and what one should do if something like that happens. Now, having said that, if you observe someone else teasing or another boy mocking a girl, then stand up against teasing. Tell them to stop, because that's what is real manliness and real courage. Give the woman or the girl her space when needed. If she is seeming low or irritable, then don't push her. Give her space or time. The other thing is, never touch or take periods products as a toy or a joke, and don't misuse them. Encourage others also to be respectful and create a respectful group culture both at home and at your school or workplace. So here are some ways to help your son understand and deal with periods. 1. Start the conversation early. Talk to your son about periods in a way that is appropriate for his age and maturity level. Be honest and open. Use simple, straightforward language to explain what's happening. And then listen to his questions. Encourage your son to ask questions and listen to his concerns, and then give him the answers. Instead of saying that it's a girl's thing and you don't have to know about it, instead of that, explain him scientifically. So explain him the basics, teach him about what is the menstrual cycle, what is ovulation, what happens during periods. Talk about the importance of hygiene, proper disposal of sanitary products and menstrual health, and try to use books or videos or the tools that we are talking about in this video to help your son understand about periods better. And most important is, encourage empathy. Teach your son to be understanding and supportive of individuals who are menstruating, and challenge the negative stereotypes. Discuss how periods are often stigmatized and how we can work to break down these stigmas. So that way you can encourage your son to treat other family members or friends or classmates with respect and kindness when they are menstruating, so they have a positive attitude towards periods.
So, like kids, do you have any questions for three of us? Let us know.
No.
Okay, super.
Ma'am, before when you told the pads, there is also you told puberty cup or something. I didn't get that for 16 years or maybe 15. So what is that exactly?
Okay, I think Bhavna can take that up. Bhavna, you're there? If not, I can tell. So there are three things. One is something like diaper kind, which I mentioned as a pad, right? So in such a way, there are different ways. There is a kind called cup, so which is not feasible for your young age. So once if you are into our kind of age, right? So that time we can actually replace that with a cup. We can keep that inside that place, and that can. So this is not recommended for your age. Okay. This is for an elder ones. So it can be replaced after few years only. So for you, initially, it is always suggested to go with the pads, or the other one is cotton pads or some other stuff. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? One thing which I would like to add, Sanvi, over here was making sure safer place to ask questions, right? So how can we give them a safest place? So you always feel that I'm giving a safer place to my kid, okay? But do you really give? So it's something like us, like say example, you imagine with your husband, you feel like you can share everything, but is he really giving that space to you? So is he really giving that space? Like I'm going for shopping, is he allowing you? So what is that gap is happening? Sometimes his behavior is different, the way how he converse with you. I'm just giving a random example just with husband, how we feel, right? As an example. The same way with our kids as well, right? So what is going to happen? We often feel we are giving them that space, but are they really taking it? Are they really grasping it? How can we ensure that is with our activities? Make sure first yourself whether you're giving that space or not. How can you do that? Just to share your examples, how did your periods takes place? How did your mood swings were during those days? How did your fights with your parents, your mother? All these like few smaller examples gives them a space. Okay, mama is sharing all her information to with me, so I can also. So this is how it generally happens. The moment when you open that space with your kid, then only they will also return, give back that. Okay, so make sure you are giving that space with them, then they can respond back, especially this stage, the preteen stage, teenage age, all this itself will take 1 hour, but yes. So make sure that you are giving that space. Okay, you don't feel that I'm giving that space. You make sure about that. Okay, how can you do? Go for a dates. Go for a dates with your kids. How many of you are going with the dates? Don't, not with your, not as a family. You can go as a family, but you and your daughter alone. Go for a date. Have fun. Go for shopping. Go for a movie. Do something. Two of you together. Have some chit chats. No more, you need not to give any suggestions, just chit chatting. Just like you treat them as a friend, how you feel, and just listen to her a lot. What is that she's telling? How is she? Everything, just observe her, but don't give her any suggestions during, especially at least on the date times. Dating is one of the best way to connect with our kids, especially girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, please remember this. And especially
One more thing I would wanted to add on Vaishali's point. So maybe she has some other impression from the colleagues or the friends, right, who have got it, and maybe she's like a little bit scared. Okay, it is blood, like that. People will feel no. So it's more than that. You should talk with her, and talking in the sense, start with that. This is a female thing. Even animals get it, so they don't feel that we are something. Everybody, all mammals get it. From there you start. So it's a natural process. That's how I talk with her. So she was like, okay, mama. And she didn't get it by that time. That time when I introduced her, she was new to it. Nobody told her. It was more than 1 year back, I think. So that way, if we start, no, they will take it as a natural process. That's how we were told when we were small by our grannies and all, right? Everybody, even cats, dogs get, that's how they get puppies, babies. So they feel okay, excited, and curious also. So maybe that, and she has some impression. That's why she's trying to avoid it. It's something she would have seen here and there. More than now, she needs it more that you talk with her, so that she doesn't have any wrong image of it. That's important.
The next section is the Q&A, and to respect the privacy of the individuals and the parents who have raised the questions about their children, I have removed that part of the recording. However, so that the knowledge gets transmitted, I have summarized the questions along with the answers which were discussed during the session. You can pause the video and read through the questions.
जब पीरियड्स पहले आ सकते हैं तो हमें तैयार भी तो पहले होना पड़ेगा। तो आज हमने क्या सीखा?
पीरियड्स का मतलब हेल्दी है आप, पीरियड्स का मतलब हेल्दी है आप। पार्टी में यूट्रस लाइनिंग बनाए, फिर हर महीने उसे हटाए। खून के रूप में ये बाहर आए, पर डरने की नहीं ये कोई भी मतलब कि मैं रहे हो